I've always thought that something fishy has to be going on.
Listen, man, during the ball drop, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was.
Whoa, what are you saying? All right, welcome back to another After Dark, everyone. Hope you all having a good night so far. Hope you guys had a good day. I wanted to check out this new video from Cosgrove. I feel like it's speaking directly to me because I've been pretty much into the playoffs this year, and this one is titled "The NBA Has You in the Palm of Their Hands." So I'm wondering if that has to do with what's going on right now. I've noticed a lot of people in the comments as of the last couple of weeks are also agreeing that you're liking the added physicality in the playoffs this year, because it's leading to a whole different, it's leading to exposing out a lot of people who can't handle the physicality. And I've been enjoying seeing who's rising above it and who is just crumbling and complaining to the refs. It's been interesting to see. Let's see what Cosgrove has to say about it. I'm not sure this is even the topic of the video, so I should probably get into it before I go too far here and make these assumptions. The NBA has you in the palm of their hands. Let's see what it is. I'm going to link the original Cosgrove video down below in the description for you guys, as I always do. Huge channel. Awesome channel. A lot of conspiracy theories on this channel, but I dig it. Anyways, everyone, please leave this video a like. Helps out a ton. And without further ado, let's do it. Cosgrove.
As someone who's made multiple conspiracy theory videos about the NBA and how they've shown to exhibit suspicious behavior at times, I've noticed that there always seems to be a few people in the comments who try to come to the NBA's defense, basically saying, well, if the NBA is so rigged, why didn't they try everything in their power to have Kobe go up against LeBron in the 2009 NBA Finals? People always tend to bring this up when trying to make a point. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you guys, but you're probably being manipulated, because I personally have always thought that the NBA knew that would have been too predictable, so they decided to throw us a curveball and sacrifice that finals.
Interesting. I always had a theory that the NBA was trying to make it happen, but LeBron dropped the ball and he choked. Because once again, you could do everything you can with the refs to fix a game, but if your star chokes, you choke, because you can't make it that obvious that you're fixing a game. It has to be within a reasonable whatever. It has to be reasonable looking enough in order to do it. And LeBron just couldn't do it, man. He couldn't hang.
So that this argument could forever be used by some of you guys as evidence that the NBA is not rigged. In other words, reverse psychology. Rigging things a certain way to make it not seem rigged, if that makes any sense. I think there was way more to gain from that strategy than from the money they could have ever made had LeBron faced Kobe in those finals. Another example.
I think I'll say my piece on it. I think the NBA wanted it, but LeBron knew he was going to get spanked. Let's be real. You know what that Laker team looked like at that time. Kobe was on top of his game. Him and Pau Gasol were crushing it. They were going to kill LeBron in the finals. Like, there's no doubt in my mind it would have destroyed him. Even easier than they destroyed Orlando. So it was all lined up, but LeBron didn't want that smoke. He needed to join a super team, and that's what he did. That's literally what he ended up doing. Join a super team. That way he could contend with Kobe. And now with Dwayne Wade recently coming out and speaking on a lot of this stuff, that was it. They teamed up to take down Kobe.
That the NBA is probably hoping their supporters point to for years is, if the NBA is so rigged, why didn't they make the Battle of LA happen in the bubble? I mean, wouldn't the league rather have preferred the Lakers and Clippers in the Western Conference Finals that year instead of the Nuggets? Well, maybe they thought you would say that, knowing that people would also use that as a solid argument for why the NBA is not rigged. A Clippers-Lakers Conference Finals would have been too obvious, so they wanted to throw us conspiracy theorists off their trail by having the Nuggets instead. said, they also didn't want to waste a potentially epic series by having it take place in the bubble, where there was no fans. They definitely would rather have them face off in a packed arena.
Yeah, I agree with that part.
Let's transition to the draft lottery. In the year 2005,
I mean, a conference finals between the Lakers and the Clippers, would it really be that big of a deal? Like he's making it out to be? Maybe some of you guys in California can speak on it. Maybe it is. Maybe it would be that big of a deal.
Well as 2006, there wasn't really any players that were worth rigging it for. You know that the NBA felt that they had to control where they landed. Of course, in hindsight there was, but not at the time. So my guess is, the NBA figured why not just give the #1 pick to Milwaukee and then Toronto in back-to-back drafts. This way, it allows the NBA to essentially say, see look, any team can win the lottery, even the smaller market teams, which in their head is supposed to make us believe that the lottery is not fixed, I guess.
2 years in a row, they both got the top 2 picks?
Even the 2007 draft belonged to a couple small market teams, well at least in the context of the NBA. Everyone knows that Portland and Seattle picked first and second in the 2007 draft, but what's less known is that
that was the KD draft.
The odds of the Pacific Northwest teams landing atop the draft lottery were extremely slim. Statistically speaking, there was only a 1 in 500 chance that Seattle and Portland would each return from the draft lottery with a top 2 pick. But I believe they gave it to them for a specific reason, so that it doesn't seem rigged all the time. They have to show some love to the smaller market teams every once in a while. You could also throw the 2019 draft lottery into this. We all thought that the NBA was probably going to hand Zion Williamson to New York on a silver platter. I mean, it makes sense, a big name in a big city, but in a surprising twist, the #1 pick went to the Pelicans, so the big market argument instantly went out the window right then and there. And I believe the NBA wanted that narrative to go out the window, to make it look like it was just purely random. Interestingly, the Knicks actually had one of the best odds to win it, so if they did, nobody would have batted an eye at all. But they still didn't want to run the risk of another Patrick Ewing debacle. So the next time
it's funny that Patrick Ewing was right there for it too.
Sitting there thinking to yourself, but why on earth would they rig it for that team? Just know that that's probably what they want you to say. People are starting to ask that question when it comes to the San Antonio.
Okay, yeah, that one was a little sus, wasn't it?
Spurs. When the Spurs initially landed the #1 pick in the 2023 NBA draft, people were immediately skeptical, saying that of course the NBA would give it to them because of their reputation for developing talented big men. But there are just as many people who are starting to counter that by saying, well, the Spurs have won 5 championships within the last 25 years, yet San Antonio is among the NBA's smallest media markets. Why would they deliberately put Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio when they've been directly responsible for some of the lowest finals ratings ever? Well, what you guys fail to realize is that the Spurs have one of the biggest fan bases internationally, and they would love to keep it that way. So I actually think it makes a ton of sense for them to want him to go there. Now sure, they did film the whole process and uploaded it to YouTube afterwards, but who's to say that they didn't just redo it until they got their desired result? Even the players
it wasn't live?
Themselves have always thought that something fishy has to be going on.
Listen, man, during the ball drop, during the lottery drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was.
What a coincidence, don't you think?
Wemby with the Spurs?
Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Right? I understand the assignment, guys.
Well, I kind of knew that Cleveland was gonna get the #1 pick, so I think they rigged it. Now, don't quote me on that though, man.
Let's take it all the way back to the 2018 NBA Finals. I'm sure we can all agree that it wasn't really the greatest series because the Warriors just swept
But where is this video leading? We're almost halfway through, but I feel like he's leading to current day, and I have no idea what that's going to be.
Cavaliers. So why are we even bringing this up? Well,
wait, say it again.
Because the Warriors just swept the Cavaliers. So why are we even bringing this up? Well, you see, if the NBA feels that the fans are too suspicious of them, they will reel it back a little bit for damage control. And what I mean by that is, you see how there's no way you could say that they rigged it for Cleveland this time, like many people feel they did in 2016, because they got swept. Here, let me explain a little more. You would think that it would have been in the league's best interest to extend this series in 2018 in order to maximize TV ratings. Many people people expected the officials to eventually start favoring the Cavaliers as it went on to prolong the series.
Yeah, but when they're rigging, they're not paying off players. They're paying off the refs. You know, so if Cleveland's gonna get spanked out of the building, there's nothing the refs can do to rig the. I mean, they are rigging the game. That's the thing. They are rigging the game, but they're still getting spanked. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't. It's live. The game is live, so there's only so much you can do.
But no, we didn't see any of that. The officials did not capitalize on those opportunities that would have helped the Cavs. And trust me, there were plenty of opportunities for the officials to do so, like in the final minute of Game 1 when Kevin Durant was initially called for a charge.
And I'm going to make Nick Young shoot the ball if I can. Durant on the drive, slices inside, offensive foul.
Ooh.
One official calling a charge, looked at the other.
Ooh. I don't remember this one. Where was his feet planted? I mean, what was he outside the?
The play was then reviewed and ultimately
circle?
reversed to a blocking foul on James, which was somewhat controversial.
Well, hold on. I actually want to see his position.
Shoot the ball if I can. Durant on
Oh crap!
the drive.
Ooh, that was a charge. That's what I was looking for. I forgot what this is called. But if your feet are planted outside of that, it's a charge. And actually, I got to give it to LeBron. He was planted. Interesting. Okay. All right, Cosgrove. All right.
James steps in and draws the charge on Durant.
The play was then reviewed and ultimately reversed to a blocking foul on James, which was somewhat controversial.
Fruit of the poisonous tree, right? Was it a block? Yes. But how did you find out? From a poisonous tree, I'm going to a review that you were not supposed to be able to go to. The rule says...
Did he slide?
Tree. I'm going to a review that you were not supposed to be able to go to.
Oh, he slid. Okay, that was a better view. Yeah, that's a blocking foul. My bad. I take it all back. I didn't see that angle. So he slid at the last second to get under KD, which is kind of surprising because it looks like he would have had it.
A poisonous tree.
One more time.
I'm going to
One more time, sorry.
That you were not supposed to be able to go to.
He would have had it. He still would have had the charge. You blew it.
The rule says you can review if it's not clear, if it was in the restricted
there it
area.
is.
And then once you go to the review, then you can make other changes.
Yeah, because he's literally sliding to the left into the contact, and you can't. That means you're initiating contact now. You can't do that on defense.
Just like, oh wait, actually he was not set, he was moving. The problem is everyone in real time knew LeBron was clearly not in the restricted area. So they went through an illegal search to find the fruit of the poisonous tree.
The point I'm trying to make is nobody would have been too argumentative if they just kept the original call, which would have put the Cavaliers in a very good position to win Game 1.
All right, Cosgrove, to be fair, normally LeBron gets those calls. Like, even to this day, he gets all those calls. So I'm hearing you.
And in doing so ensures that we have a little bit of a longer series, but instead they went out of their way to change it. In Game 2, Steph Curry trips LeBron, but no foul was called, resulting in Ty Lue getting teed up, which shifted the momentum of the game.
There certainly was
Looks like that should be a technical, on LeBron too.
Out of contact. I mean, come on.
And here's my question. What are you watching if you're not watching that?
I mean,
give him space to land.
They weren't getting out of his way, though. This is a weird play. I would not want to make this call.
Klay Thompson had 3 early fouls in the first half alone, but he still didn't go to the bench after that and just remained in the game, meaning that the referees could have also seen that as a perfect opportunity to give him even more fouls,
Fair enough.
which would have forced Steve Kerr to take him out of the game, therefore making it easier on Cleveland. But they didn't seize that moment. In Game 3, Draymond Green could have easily been called for a technical foul here.
Spins, lost it, and a foul on Draymond Green.
Which would have led to an automatic ejection because he already had one, but for some reason the referees decided not to give him one, making people think that the officials were doing everything in their power to have Green remain in the game after catching so much flack for suspending him in the 2016 finals.
I'm sorry. I was hanging out with a buddy of mine about a week ago, and we were watching. It was a little more than a week ago. It was during the Houston and Golden State series. We were watching that game together, and dude, there was so many times throughout the game that me and my buddy were just laughing. We're like, look at him. Like, Draymond's fucking crazy. Like, he's just yelling all the time. Whether he's yelling at a ref or another player, or he's on the bench yelling, like, the guy is just yelling all the time. We're having a good old laugh. Like, dude, this guy's one hell of a defender, you know? He's freaking nuts.
And if you need more convincing that it really did start to look like they were just letting him do whatever he wants after his first technical, just take a look at this clip from the 2017 NBA Finals.
Mike, I've checked with the men at the official scorers table, and they all agreed as a unit that they were told by the officials that first half technical was in fact on Draymond Green. That's why it was marked that way in the scorers table. It wasn't until that last incident where there was the stoppage at play where the officials went to the scorers and said, no, that first half technical was actually on Steve Kerr.
Thank you, Doris.
That's not a good look for the NBA.
It wasn't necessary.
Okay. Jeff Van Gundy speaks out. I'm listening. I'll tell you that much. He's a straight shooter.
About the officials favoring Golden State as much as it was about them avoiding the narrative of rigging it for Cleveland. The Cavs could have very well won Game 1 as well as Game 3. They played just well enough that the officials could have gave them a little boost if they wanted in order to make it more competitive. All I'm saying is that perhaps the NBA decided to do the complete opposite of what everyone thought they would do and not help the Cavs at all, like people believe they did in 2016, which definitely did squash all the suspicion temporarily. Here we have
I get it. Because they did rig it in 20. Okay. And we've all been talking about it. So this was to distract us from that, basically, and say, see, we couldn't have rigged it because what happened this year? Or you could have just rigged it twice in a row. Damn. All right. Keep going, Cosgrove. You're cooking.
Different kind of reverse.
Not the video I was expecting at all, by the way. But this is cool.
Psychology, the kind that'll get you re-interested in a playoff series. Remember how uneventful and boring both conference finals were in 2017? After the Zaza Pachulia incident, we already knew that series was pretty much over at that point, before it really even started. But also the 2017 Eastern Conference Finals between Boston and Cleveland lacked in drama as well. The Cavaliers easily took care of business in Boston for the first 2 games. Game 2 in particular was a complete blowout. Like I said, after Kawhi Leonard went down, along with the Cavs clearly having no problem with the Celtics at all, it looked like there was no reason to tune in anymore. So was it possible that Adam Silver was worried about TV ratings and told LeBron to take it easy on the Celtics in the next game to make things more interesting? Just hear me out. After Avery Bradley drained this clutch shot to win Game 3, many fans were wondering how Boston managed to steal a game in Cleveland without Isaiah Thomas, and where they were once down 21 points in the third quarter not too long before, snapping Cleveland's 13-game playoff winning streak. And the fact that LeBron only scored 11 points after scoring at least 30 points in 8 consecutive games before that in those same playoffs seemed very odd.
It happens often for him.
You might be thinking that I'm just pulling this out of nowhere, but these comments alone shows that not everyone took that game at face value. Also, this post-game interview LeBron gave us almost seemed like he was mad, not because they lost, but maybe because Adam Silver intervened in the middle of their beatdown and told him to throw the game.
LeBron, you had a tough second half with just 3 points. What were some of the factors that led to that? Were you as aggressive?
I mean, he does this often, though, you guys. He just did it at least twice in his most recent playoffs. You know, he just, especially in the fourth quarter, 0 points. 2 points.
Wanted to be.
Me personally, I didn't have it, and that's what I got to say about my performance.
For you, you said it was just your game. Couldn't get into a rhythm tonight. Is that what it was?
Like I said, it's that my performance personally was all on me.
Now his next.
Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen LeBron do that.
Answer was really telling.
That makes me even more suspicious. Then, huh? All right, Cos.
felt as if he was trying to convince us that what had just happened that night should spark more interest without actually saying it.
What did you mean a minute ago when you said you're kind of glad it happened the way that it did?
Well, I feel some adversity is all part of postseason. I feel like you have to have some type of adversity.
While it might have got us to tune into the next game with a little more excitement, it didn't last for too long, as the Cavs would go on to close out the series in 5 games.
Interesting video. Yep. Wow. Okay. So I wasn't expecting this video. Damn, guys. Like, the fixing of games. It's a delicate topic to talk about, honestly, because the question always becomes like proof, and we don't have like clear evidence to support anything. Like we have pretty obvious situations that we're assessing and going like, yeah, that looks really sus. I could see why the NBA would do that, but I guess we haven't like fully exposed the NBA ever in a true scandal like this. I didn't know about the draft, the draft rigging until I started this channel, and then the whole draft with the Knicks getting Patrick Ewing, that's got me really suspicious with the creased corner of the envelope. And honestly, it was what year? 2003, I think it was, with the Sacramento Kings and the Lakers, and that one I could tell you was fixed. Like, once again, we don't have proof or evidence, but like, dude, that was so fixed. Sacramento was supposed to win that series. They were, and like, you know me, I'm a big Kobe fan, but I'm sorry, Sacramento was supposed to win that series. Not supposed to, they deserved to win that series, but the refs took it away from them. And I could see that one. That one makes perfect sense because, Jordan's gone at this point, and like, so the Bulls dynasty's over. What was going on before that? It was the Lakers dynasty with Magic and Kareem. So they wanted it to bring that spotlight back to LA, and they had 2 huge stars in Kobe and Shaq. It's perfect. It's Magic and Kareem part 2. So that one makes a lot of sense. I don't know, you guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm more curious about what you guys think than what I have to say on this one. Because I have seen, with LeBron, I see a ton of rigging going on in his favor. So, yes, I do believe there is rigging going on in the NBA, and I do believe it's been going on for a very long time. And that's really unfortunate to make a statement like that, because, yeah, I'd be a fool to argue against it when I've seen things that are so clear. And that's sad because it's my favorite sport, my favorite game. But yeah. All right, guys, let me know, and let me know some other situations that you guys have witnessed firsthand that you think were rigged. And I'm curious what we're gonna talk about in these comments. So I'm looking forward to it, you guys. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Like the vid if you haven't done so. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Go tell your loved ones you love them. Go be good to your people. Go be good to yourself. Be good to your pets. All that good stuff. You guys, I'm heading out of here. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Hit that like. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you all in the comments. Oh, and one more thing. Be water, my friends.